Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful, helping to pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And then some.
And then some. All right, Locke, to start us off here, this is something that I came up with on the fly, and it's something that I think of on a day-to-day, right? Where it's the topic of unfinished business, right? Where you know how a lot of people have this tendency to start things and not finish it. So I'm not talking about bucket list things,
Talking about the unfinished business, the dead come back, they're not dead because they have that unfinished business.
No, that's not at all what I'm talking about.
Well, that's what I think of when you say unfinished business. You're saying procrastinating. You start a project, you don't finish it.
I always have this tendency to I really get interested in something, and then I start getting into it, and then I do the whole ooh shiny, and I go pursue something else, right? And so that thing I was working on before, it never gets finished and just sits there. And it's not something that I put away and forget about. It's always, in plain view, and I see it every day, and I think I need to get around to, getting that project to completion. But then I don't, because I got something else I'm working on, something newer. I was talking to somebody the other day where we have this tendency to collect books. So I'm very guilty of this, where I will get super interested in something, and I will start looking for, instead of I do some searching on the internet, yeah? I'll search on the internet and I'll find information about things, but then I'm I need it in book form. I need something, physical here that I can reference, whenever I want to, learn more about this, or I want to remind myself about something about this topic. And then I'll end up buying books, and I'll read them for, a week. I'll read a few chapters, or I'll get halfway through the book, and then I'll put it down, and then I do the whole ooh shiny thing, and then I'll go on to the next thing, and I won't touch that book anymore, right? I do that all the time. The amount of books I have around me, at my desk at this moment, not even on my bookshelf, they're on my desk, reminding me hey, finish this book, but I haven't done. I got
the mood just doesn't strike you enough. You're not in the same mood you were when you first bought it.
Exactly. I got three books here within arm's reach, the Noam Chomsky books, reading about capitalism and what have you, and I got one book that's halfway read, and I got two other books that are still in their shipping packaging. Haven't even been opened. They're just sitting there. And then I got George Orwell's 1984, which is
that too.
It's so good. I read 2 chapters and I was this is such a good book. And then I put it down and never touched it again. I never finished it. I got this book on music theory right here that's halfway read that I haven't finished yet. I got Star Wars books here that I haven't finished. Yeah. Let's see. What do I got behind me? Oh, I got my Warhammer books. Oh, good lord. Necronomicon, but there's a good excuse for that one. That book is extremely large, and it's written in old confusing English, rather than modern, simplistic English.
Right.
So I have a good excuse for that guy. But yeah, just the amount, just books alone, and if I don't even get me don't even get me started on my Steam library, right? The amount of unplayed games, video games that I have on my Steam library, because they're like things I thought were super cool that I wanted to like get into, and then I just don't touch them.
Isn't that how it goes? Like, even on the Xbox, I have all these games, but I'm like, not in the mood, not in the mood. Yeah, I'm just going to play the same game that I have been playing for a while.
It's odd, isn't it? Like, sometimes I'll do this thing where, you know, I'll have a list, right? Where, like, I have something on the top of my list, and then it gets knocked down a peg, as far as priorities go. Because I have a new interest, and then it just keeps on stacking one on top of the other. And I remember the list of things that I've been kicking back, right? Like I know the order in which they're listed, and I want to finish the thing I'm working on, then go back to the thing that's like just underneath that. But what I have a habit of doing is like on the list, like I'm on number 1, but then I start losing interest, and all of a sudden I'm interested in item number 133 or something again. Right. And then I start go playing with that thing. and never to completion, mind you. It just, skipped the line for like a week to a month or something like that. And then it's right back into the order again.
Yep.
And just the amount of crap. And like I've done this with hobbies too, like back when I was scuba diving, and I loved scuba diving. I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world. And I like sold so many of my belongings just so I could pay for like all the certifications and everything, and I got all the equipment, and I did that, and I got certified as a rescue diver, and I wanted to go all the way to dive master, and I was good friends with the people at the shop that worked at the shop, and we hung out, and and they were looking forward to it, and they were like, yeah, we'd love to have you as one of our dive masters here at the shop, and so you could come out and help out with the instructors and what have you. And I was like, oh man, I got something lined up, super cool. And then I moved not even 30 minutes away, and I just completely stopped scuba diving altogether. Like nothing, like not even like a passing interest. I'm like, I'm too far away now. I'm not gonna do that anymore. all these dreams, all this work, all this effort that I put into it, all this money and everything, yep. And then I moved just a little bit further away, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it no more. We're gonna do other things. Oh man, just how quickly I could turn my back on these, these aspirations, right? It's absurd. I
imagine how your toys felt when you were a kid. Just constantly getting tossed to the side for the newest toy.
Oh man,
I don't want to play with you anymore. Toss it away.
Oh man, that's actually something that I struggle with my own child about, is, as far as toys go, right? Where she has this connection, right? Like she never wants to get rid of anything. Like she has to keep every single toy, like ever since she was like, a baby. She wants to hold on to everything, and I'm like, why can't we just get rid of some of this crap? I remember when I was a kid, I didn't have any problem with it. I was like, meh, I don't play with these toys anymore. Let's get rid of them, And I always had like a clean and tidy room because I barely had any toys, because I was like, I'm never touching those toys again. I don't want them.
Hey, you know what? When I was like 15, it came to the question of being like, you want to get rid of your old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? And I was like, no. I mean, I'm never going to play with them again, but I want them. Like,
they're mine.
They're mine. I love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's just I don't really play with toys anymore. All those Star Wars figurines that I have, Like the ones that you collected at Toys R Us, the ones that have the little voice chips.
Uh-huh.
You know which ones I'm talking about? I still have them. And right now it's in display in a china cabinet.
Yeah, they're all busted the shit.
Well, Obi-Wan's missing an arm. Qui-Gon's missing his robes.
Yep.
It's I don't know. It's still the fact like you'll never find those things again. I mean, if you do, you're gonna find them on eBay for however much they go for.
Right, right. You know, just the other day, I was scrolling in social media and I saw this thing about these old toys that I used to play with. And I like, you know, I had this like moment, you know, where I'm just like super nostalgic. I was like, oh my God. Like, I remember I have so many memories playing with those toys. And they were like these little, gosh, what are they called? They were the thing that came out right before Bionicle did. Remember the Bionicle?
Oh, absolutely. That was like a craze almost.
Yeah, it was right before they came out with Bionicle. They made these other, you know, things that weren't too dissimilar from Bionicle. It was like kind of them. It seemed like it was just something they were working out, you know, before they, you know, perfected it and they got Bionicle.
That's true. There was another one. I can't remember what it's called. If anybody else knows what it is, let us know.
Yeah, but like you put them together and these little dudes and they had these, you know, these springy arms and you like put a disc in their hand and you like can fling a disc. You remember? Do you ever see those? I think I can't remember what we called them in America. I think the European version was called like Slizzer, something like that.
Keep trying. I don't think the point's gotten across.
But no, in America they're called something stupid like disc bots or something like that. You know, something very simplistic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I can't recall. But anyway, yeah, it was just one of those moments where I was super nostalgic and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I wonder how much those things go for. Like if you can actually find those. And like, I Googled it. And not that I actually had any plans to like buy them. Right. I was like, I have enough junk. I don't need any more junk. But I looked it up and like people are selling these things for like, you know, over $100 for a figure, right? For one of these guys. It's because yeah. And, man, you know, if I had kept, you know, some of my toys, well, you know what? I'm not going to even go into that because, you know, it's not like any of my toys were in mint condition. You know, I put those boys through the number, you know, like those guys went through the ringer. Like they all at least made, you know, a dozen, you know, dives off the old porch at the house I grew up in,
Right,
you know,
right.
where I would tie, you know, those grocery bags to their backs and I would chuck them off the porch and see if they could float down like a parachute, you know,
Right.
and it never worked. And they all just like splattered up against a tree or a rock or something. My toys were in rough shape. So maybe that like kind of helped me in like getting rid of my old toys, you know, where I'm like, yeah, those things are pretty busted, you know. They don't, they're falling apart. They don't work right. Oh, do you have anything where, you know, any specific hobbies or something that you feel that you've gotten into that you keep putting off, or do you have the same tendencies to, you know, find new and shinier things to pursue?
Oh, I absolutely get distracted, and it's only gotten worse as I get older. Yeah, you'll notice it. Even we'll be around the house. We'll say, "Hey, we're gonna clean. Like, we're just gonna do these couple of things right before we leave," and then it'll turn into this big cleaning frenzy where I'm like, "Oh, this also needs to go, and this needs to go." Oh, but while I'm at it, while I'm in like this closet, I'll bring one of these things out, like decorations, whatever. Start putting, and Jane Doe will look at me and go, "You know what we originally were planning on doing, right?" Like, You're getting distracted again, and I'm like, get sorry.
That is frustrating, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and I know it also happens during gameplay. We'll be playing a game, and I can't do just the same thing over and over again. That gets boring.
Yeah.
I need to do something else. So say we're playing like a like first person shooter or whatever. I can't use the same character, the same strategy every single time. That gets boring for me. I want to try to spruce things up, create a challenge, while everybody else is doing the same thing the whole entire time.
I don't know. I feel like there's people that are all too willing to keep repeating the same things over and over again. Like, is it like they make it habitual almost? Is it comforting? Or having an idea of what's going to happen and like kind of a muscle memory type thing where like you don't even have to think about it?
Well, I mean, I get it. It's something they're used to, so they keep it in their mind. They can just do it out of a habit. But
Go on autopilot, you know?
I already go on autopilot sometimes at work. I don't need.
Yeah, true. No, I get that.
In games, I want to keep sprucing things up, do something different, do something crazy, and then it not work out, and then I'd be frustrated because it didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? Oh, well, no, I know why.
You know, maybe there's something there. You know, just the fact of it being something like it feels like you're trapped, right? If you're stuck doing the same thing over and over again, it feels like you're confined within like a certain space of thought. And some of us don't function well under those conditions. And that's why we go on, like our mind constantly pushes us to go on to something new and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even that it's exciting in of itself. It's just the fact that it's new and different. That's exciting.
Right.
And it's not that it's like it's a struggle or anything, or that it's a hardship of some kind. I feel like it enriches, our lives for the like we're people that don't get anything done, but we're having fun along the way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to make things interesting. If not for us, for other people.
Yeah, it's this chase. What is it called? You're chasing the dopamine or whatever.
Trying to get that dopamine high. Come on.
Yeah. And I don't care how many, motivational social media influencers and what have you tell me to do otherwise. Fuck them. They can go suck a chode.
Would we consider ourselves influencers, or what would we call ourselves?
I hope not, bud. I hope we don't influence a single soul. The thought of that worries me.
At least, at the very least, we influence them not to do what we do.
We maybe if we influence them
do
to
better.
think differently. Yeah, be better than us, or influence you to be better and more functional human beings.
We're like that older brother that does all the wrong things. Do better than them.
Oh God. Just striving to be the favorite child.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.